Hello guys, welcome back to the Top Drive Show. Another exciting and interesting episode for you today as we are showcasing the brand new Tri-Series prize car, the 2013 Pagani Zonda Revolucion. It's an interesting car in real life because it was the sort of last evolution of the Pagani Zonda, and it is basically the ultimate Pagani Zonda. Pagani switched to creating different cars after that. And I've got Tim today with me to talk about it, to show you how it competes against similar cars in its class, and then hopefully this will allow you to decide whether you want to take part in the Tri-Series finals. So without any more hesitation, let's watch it.
Okay, so it's time to talk about the 2013 Pagani Zonda Revolution. Quite an incredible car, as you can see. Benchmarks very well on top drives, coming out at RQ97. I asked Johnny for some facts about this car, because he's the guy to know, and he pointed out that this is the track-only kind of ultimate incarnation of the Zonda. So you can see, we've got the 2007 Pagani Zonda R, comes at RQ96. It's just a little bit better with the Revolution here. So there were only 5 built. It's over 2 million euros if you want to buy one, assuming you can even find somebody who wants to sell it. And it's just one of these incredible all-rounder things that you get at the top end of the range here, right? It's just got immense power and speed, but extreme agility with it. And the thing to note, you might compare it with the McLaren P1 GTR, for example. It's actually 400 kilograms lighter than that. That is pretty mad. The only thing to worry about in top drives is that it does have slick tyres, so you've got to watch out for using it anywhere other than dry asphalt. So what we need to do here is just see how it compares. First thing to do, we've got a little video here. Let's just put it up against the top Italian car, you might think, in top drives, the Lamborghini Centenario. Now let's just have a look here. We've got a rolling start, which takes away the advantage that the Revolution has actually of a slightly lower 0 to 60. But as you can see, it's able to maintain quite a few car lengths all the way through, and that's despite the fact, as I'll get to later, that it actually has slightly lower MRA in the 60 to 100 range. So that lightness and that a little bit extra handling and impressive high-speed performance enables it to keep the advantage all the way through that race. Another one to compare against is the Porsche 962C, one of the best cars you can get just straight out of packs. Now, that is going to be a tricky one to beat in pure speed, because the MRA on that is incredible. But we might just put it against the Revolution on a twisty track, just to see what that little bit of extra handling can do. And so if we take a look at that, again, it's incredible. It just gives it that little edge in the corners, and it actually manages to win that race. It wouldn't win the fast circuit one, but it's still pretty incredible. It just has to get that much twistier, and you've got it. And then in terms of twisties, the next thing you might want to think about is your Caterhams, right? So let's have a little look at the indoor karting track with legendary Caterham 7620R. So Revolution has a 0 to 60 advantage, and it has a handling advantage. I think those Caterhams are very narrow, so that sort of makes it tougher for them to get around the corners. And you can see that just takes it all the way home, and it wins that comfortably. I know what you're thinking. What about a maxed Superlight? Yeah, you know those come out. Well, I quickly checked that. Now, the Revolution does lose the indoor karting to that one, but if you just put one fuse in the handling, then you can beat the Superlight, and that's always a good feeling. Okay, finally, let's just put it against the Chiron Sport on the slalom. John loves to do this. So, as you can see, Chiron Sport built for speed, not so much for agility. And that agility advantage gives it to the Revolution, takes it all the way home. So pretty darn good. Now, I sometimes draw out these benchmarking tables. Let's put that up. Boom. So blue is anywhere where the Revolution is winning. Red is where it's losing. I put these out on the web forum from time to time. Keep an eye out there. What you can see is I've benchmarked it against some of the competitors you might consider, Italian cars and other high-end ones. You can see notably that it does lose to the McLaren P1 GTR on the faster tracks, because if you benchmark the pure stats, the 0 to 60 and the handling, it's very similar. Its only real advantage is that it's got that 400 kilograms less weight, and that's what gives it the advantage in the G-force and the slalom. But yeah, in terms of Italian, you can see it's outperforming the 2007 Pagani Zonda R everywhere, and the Lamborghini Centenario everywhere. So you're basically looking at pretty much the top Italian car in the game. So yeah, pretty good. The one thing I thought I should add is that you could probably tell we're looking at an off-road final here. That's pretty high stakes. And off-road, I think, is an area that leaves even experienced players in top drives a bit confused, because there's a lot of weirder effects that go on there. Some of them are real physics, and some of them are the way that we do things. I just thought I'd give you a quick 3 tips on off-road. Right, so the first thing is watch out for the traction limit. Okay, if you see the little orange triangle above the car, that means it can't go any faster than that or it would wheel spin. And so it's just stuck at going as fast or accelerating as fast as the traction allows. And that means if a car has more traction, right, by having a better tyre or drive type, or have traction aids or engine traction bonus, which I'll get to next, then it will be able to go faster than a car with less traction, because it's able to just get a little bit more speed under those low traction conditions. That also means the 0 to 60 is a lot less important in off-road, because you just literally can't use that power. As you're starting to accelerate, that's where the traction limit hits you the most. So typically you will match another car even with a lower or higher 0 to 60 if you have the same traction. And it's only once you overcome the traction limit, when you're going fast enough, that you'll see the difference. And that's why mid-range acceleration is more important, because that's the point where you're going to be pulling away at a higher speed. So yeah, watch out for the traction limit. Second thing related to that, the engine traction bonus. Right now, this is this sort of hidden aspect of top drives where technically more upgraded car actually has a little bit more traction. That's quite good because it breaks ties, right? This traction limit thing, you could have an off-road drag race and your traction limited the entire way through. And so you could have one car that's upgraded and another one that's not upgraded, and it would just be an exact tie. So that we go, okay, you get a little bit of a boost of traction, and so the more upgraded car wins. But that creates weird effects, especially in heavy off-road, where a technically much better car that's less upgraded will have less traction than a worse car. Like, maybe you're comparing an Epic usually that's not upgraded to an Ultra Rare that is upgraded, and the upgradedness gives the Ultra Rare a traction bonus, and when they're at the traction limit, the one with the more traction can get ahead. So that can be quite a trick to watch out for, and so you kind of do need to max those epics generally to get the full advantage of them. It's pretty tough. That is something we're looking at changing. It's not something we're going to do in a hurry, but it does seem like the kind of thing that probably shouldn't be in top drives because it's just too confusing. But for now, that's how it is, so watch out for it. Finally, there's another reason that the RQ of the car is not necessarily going to tell you this one is better in off-road and this one is not, right? Because some off-road cars have hill climb bonus, right? We put it in to model the fact that something about the topology of that car, the shape of it, the height, the center of gravity, means it should be able to climb hills much better. Because we use a single point simulation, we kind of have to put in this extra thing to say it's better. But what that means is when we generate the RQ, we compare how the cars perform across all the tracks. And cars that have this hill climb bonus will do really well in hills, and cars that don't will be terribly in hills. What that means is when you're off-road, you need to really know which kind of car have you got. Have you got one that's really good at hills? Because if you do, that RQ that it has is probably driven by how good it is on a hill. If you're putting it on a track that does not have a hill, it's going to disappoint you probably for that RQ. So make sure you put your hill specialists on the hills, and the ones that are not good at hills, well, they're going to save your RQ the rest of the time if there's not a hill. So you've got to know which one you're using. Finally, weight is really important off-road. You can imagine you're going around that corner. If your truck is a ton heavier, that's going to be a bit trickier to do in the snow. So, and the weight variation in off-road cars is pretty big. So do keep an eye out for the lighter ones if there's got to be a lot of cornering in heavy off-road conditions. All told, that creates a bit of a complicated situation in off-road finals, which gives the advantage to the more perspicacious player who maybe takes some notes and knows which car can beat which. I think that's a good thing. Well, it's good for me anyway. I take those notes and I work out which car can win where. So for all you guys out there doing that, good luck. This is an incredible car to win, and hopefully it'll be a lot of fun. All right, there you go. That's that.
Thank you very much, Tim. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully it will give you an idea of whether you want to compete for this car in the Tri-Series. Don't forget to follow our social channels for more news about Top Drives, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to ensure that you do not miss any of the exciting videos or live streams that we are uploading on this channel every week. So good luck, and I'll see you in the next episode.